Welcome to the 2019 AGC New York State Jeffrey J. Zogg Build New York Awards, celebrating 28 years, and the AIA New York State Excelsior Awards, celebrating its 5th year. Let's introduce this year's Jeffrey J. Zogg Build New York winners. Our first winner is Foz Construction Group for Binghamton University's School of Pharmacy. General Contractor, Foz Construction Group. Client, State University Construction Fund. Owner, Binghamton University. Architect, SLAM Collaborative. Engineer, Lacani and Jordan Engineers. In January 2014, Binghamton University, in conjunction with the New York State Governor's Office, announced the creation of a School of Pharmacy. The state of New York committed $60 million in strategic initiative funding to the effort. Binghamton University's new School of Pharmacy is a $42.2 million state-of-the-art pharmaceutical facility in Johnson City, New York. Groundbreaking for the new building took place in May of 2016 and opened in the summer of 2018. The facility includes a new 4-story, 95,000 gross square foot building and is the home of the university's new and accredited School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences program. The facility includes research and instructional labs, classrooms, lecture halls, a pharmacy skills lab, assessment and simulation labs, offices and student activity and support space. There will be compounding, pharmaceutical care and sterile labs, mock community and hospital pharmacies, as well as a state-of-the-art simulation lab. Outside, there will be a medicinal garden. Nearly 2 floors of the building will be dedicated to research with high-tech research tools and equipment, as well as high-throughput screening capability and large data computing. The site of the new School of Pharmacy is located in the abandoned Endicott Johnson industrial area. During site clearing and demolition of the 3 existing warehouses, the team found unforeseen conditions and unsuitable soils. The project utilized a number of innovative construction techniques. The industry has suffered from continued issues with concrete slab moisture and the ability to install floor finishes. At the School of Pharmacy, Foz used an innovative product called Barrier 1, which is an additive to concrete that encapsulates moisture and prevents moisture mitigation efforts and delays in installation of floor finishes. SUCF directives, in support of Executive Order 88, require the project design to meet a minimum of LEED Silver, as outlined by the USGBC. Foz procured locally sourced and renewable materials when available, and kept careful track of all construction waste and recycled materials. The collective teamwork involved to design and construct this project on time and under budget was without question one of the best. Decisions to ensure constructability and maintainability of the building throughout the process made construction of the structure more streamlined and left the client with a product that they could service well into the future. Our second Jeffrey J. Zogg Build New York Award winner is the Hayner-Hoyt Corporation, Colgate University's Benton Hall. Construction Manager, the Hayner-Hoyt Corporation. Owner, Colgate University. Architect, Robert A.M. Stern Architects. Engineer, Dewberry. Tucked into the rolling hills in the village of Hamilton is Colgate University. When you walk onto campus, it is immediately apparent that you are stepping into an environment that values history, tradition, and continuity. The oldest building on campus dates back to 1827, when West Hall was built from stone taken from a campus quarry. Such began the tradition of building with local stone, which continues to this day, seamlessly blending the old with the new, as is the case for the university's newest building, Benton Hall. Benton Hall is part of a $60 million building investment meant to enhance the student experience. Designed by Robert A.M. Stern Architects, with the Hayner-Hoyt Corporation serving as the construction manager at risk, the 17,600 square foot LEED Platinum facility is the new home of the Center for Career Services and the Office of National Fellowships and Scholarships. The attention to detail in the building design is apparent. The academic quad entrance boasts an ornate vestibule and a welcoming reception area. With high-end finishes throughout, Hayner-Hoyt carpenters performed all millwork, including the installation of a decorative three-piece crown molding. Dark granite stairs, complemented by brass-handled railings, coffered ceilings, recessed lighting, and concealed door openers all work to create a space that is both functional and beautiful. Like with most projects, there were some unforeseen setbacks that compromised the schedule. At the beginning of the project, they lost 3 weeks due to unstable soil conditions, which required 220 tons of structural fill to stabilize the building footprint. There were many long lead time items, including the custom cast stone, which took up to 16 weeks to arrive. This greatly impacted the extensive masonry work, as the precast needed to be set before the stone. To meet the completion date, significant overtime was put in. Benton Hall's initial design was intended to achieve LEED Silver certification, yet it surpassed that goal to achieve LEED Platinum. Around 60% of all building materials were sourced regionally, including the stone, roof slate, precast, and steel. Benton Hall is the kind of project that might only come around once in a career. The sheer level of detail, the investment in high-quality materials, and the respect for traditional craftsmanship make Benton Hall a showcase piece in the university setting. This project was truly a team effort, and Hayner-Hoyt was extremely fortunate to have a team that understood just how special this building was going to be. Our third Jeffrey J. Zogg Build New York Award winner is HBP joint venture Huber Brewer Construction and the Pike Company for the New York State Fair Exposition Center. Construction Manager, HBP Joint Venture, Huber Brewer Pike Company. Owner, New York State Office of General Services. Architect, QPK. Engineer, CHA. HBP Joint Venture, a joint venture between Syracuse, New York-based Huber Brewer Construction and Rochester, New York-based The Pike Company, provided design-build services for the construction of a New York State Fair Exposition Center. The $62 million, 136,000 square foot multi-use exposition center, located on the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse, New York, home of the great New York State Fair, was the first true design-build project for their client, the New York State Office of General Services. The HBP project team consisted of a collaborative collective that included HBP, the client OGS, the New York State Fair staff, Gilbane Building Company, the program manager, and the design team led by QPK Design. Together, this team brought the client's vision of a multi-use venue from the design phase and proactive construction to fruition, resulting in an outstanding and beautiful facility. From the outside of the building, the new Exposition Center features a 51,000 square foot grass and tree plaza that is lined with benches and tables. Upon entering the building, a bright and airy glass entry opens to an expansive lobby with ceiling height reaching more than 40 feet high. The first floor of the two-story concourse area includes open areas for guest seating, office space, ticketing offices, multi-use meeting, training, and conference space, as well as a full-service catering kitchen and 2 separate concession spaces. On the second floor, areas for entertaining include pre-event spaces, a VIP room with balconies overlooking the Grand Plaza, the fairgrounds, and the exposition hall. Restrooms and offices for additional staff personnel complete the second floor space. The lobby concourse opens into the 110,000 square foot exposition hall, which is impressive in both size and in design. Spanning 250 feet wide, by 440 feet long and reaching 60 feet at its highest point, the hall is large enough to host a variety of events. Additional concession spaces, restrooms, storage, and mechanical areas flank the expo hall on the north and south sides. The size of the exposition center makes it the largest venue of its type north of New York City, between Boston and Cleveland. By establishing a true sense of collaboration and trust with all stakeholders, the HBP team was able to bring the vision of the Exposition Center to a reality. The Exposition Center's unveiling at the 2018 Great New York State Fair received phenomenal feedback from the community and helped contribute to the all-time record for attendance at the fair. The Huber Brewer and the Pike Company joint venture team is proud of the work done to bring the new Exposition Center to fruition. Our final Jeffrey J. Zogg Build New York Award winner is LaChase Construction Services for the Yo1 Wellness Center. Construction Manager, LaChase Construction. Owner, Varia Lifestyle. Architect, LMV Architects. Engineer, Fellenzer Engineering. Part of a renaissance underway in New York's Catskill Mountains, the new Yo1 Wellness Center in Monticello, New York, offers guests a unique blend of Eastern and Western wellness therapies, yoga, fitness activities, and nutrition services in a luxurious and inviting atmosphere. It's a fitting next chapter for the property where Kutcher's Country Club, the last of a different era of Catskill resorts, once stood. Owner Varia Lifestyle, the company behind lifestyle and wellness brand Z Living, had a vision to build the 295,000 square foot, $119 million facility as a modern, upscale and relaxing environment that would rejuvenate guests. Led by construction manager LaChase Construction, the project team applied an extraordinary level of coordination, collaboration, and technology to the task, enabling them to deliver the center on time and on budget, meeting all the client's needs. The project started in November of 2015. To prepare the site, the team had to clear 26 acres of timber and blast to remove rock from the site, as well as construct an entrance road that could accommodate delivery of equipment and materials. LaChase self-performed the concrete work consisting of 7,500 cubic yards of foundations, 2,500 cubic yards of concrete slabs, and 473 tons of concrete reinforcement. The structural foundation included a 40,000 square foot mat slab, interior footing and piers, standard frost wall foundations, 24-foot high concrete retaining walls, and 60-inch anchor bolts throughout. Just under 2,200 tons of steel were used for the 7-story steel plank building, which has exterior insulation, EPDM roofing, and terracotta-like roof tiles. The facade is comprised of exterior panels that were pre-manufactured and finished off-site. Bathroom pods for the guest rooms were also pre-manufactured off-site. The LaChase project team invested a great deal of upfront effort so they could put together detailed and complete scopes of work for each bid package. These scopes, 36 in all, were key to defining the project and delineating the lines of responsibility between the different trades and subcontractors. The Yo1 Wellness Center opened in June 2018. Located just 2 hours from New York City, it is a destination with an access of millions of people in the tri-state area. The stakeholders, from the owner, designer, and CM at risk, to the subcontractors and suppliers, adopted a practical never-say-no attitude. As a result, they were able to deliver a facility that is truly unique, raising the bar for the new generation of Catskill resorts. Congratulations to all of our Jeffrey J. Zogg Build New York winners. Let's introduce this year's AIA New York State Excelsior Award winners. Excelsior Awards Historic Preservation Award of Merit. Northland Workforce Training Center, Buffalo, New York. Submitting firm, Watts Architecture and Engineering. Construction Manager, Gilbane. Landscape Architect, Environmental Design and Research. Historic Preservation Architect, BAC Architecture and Planning. Architectural Support and Master Planning, SWBR. Mechanical Engineer, Popley Design Group. Environmental Engineer, The Lero Group. Structural Engineer, Syracuse Engineers and Watts Architecture and Engineering. The former Niagara Machine and Toolworks factory in Buffalo is a significant example of a large-scale tool and machine factory, designed and built during the first half of the 20th century. The company played an important role in the defense contracting for World War I and World War II, as well as in the development of the east side of Buffalo along the Beltline Railroad. The Northland Workforce Training Center represents a revival in an industrial neighborhood that was once considered forgotten by its residents. The Northline Beltline neighborhood has not seen the level of development that many other areas of the city of Buffalo have seen in the last decade. The 683 Northland Avenue property, along with many of its industrial neighbors, was vacant for over 20 years. These vacant properties, rich in history and space, present the perfect opportunity for a development hub in a neighborhood in need. The reuse of a former prominent machining and tool factory as an energy and manufacturing workforce educational center maintains the historic industrial use and significance of the complex. In rehabilitating this building, preserving the historic character of the structure was at the forefront of the design principles. As part of the restoration, complete abatement and replacement of all existing doors, windows, skylights, and monitors occurred. The factory building was structurally sound. However, it required some structural retrofits to meet current building code. As a polluted industrial site, the environmental footprint of the building was also taken into consideration. The project is pursuing LEED certification and was designed using sustainable materials. Employment and poverty rates in the Northland Beltline community remain higher than national averages, with 25.6% of the neighborhood living below the poverty line and 17.2% of the neighborhood unemployed in 2013. The goal of the Northland Workforce Training Center is to provide low or no-cost education for individuals and to help them obtain well-paying jobs upon completion of the programs. The commitment to rebuilding this neighborhood shows the people in the area that the city and the state are looking to improve their quality of life and resources. Historic Preservation Honor Award, the Hotel Henry at the Richardson Olmsted Campus, Buffalo, New York. Submitting firm, Deborah Burke Partners. Construction Manager, L.P. Simonelli. Historic Preservation Architect, Goody Clancy. Executive Architect, Flynn Battaglia Architects. Consulting Architect, Andrew Pogan Associates. The former Buffalo State Asylum for the Insane has been reborn as a boutique hotel, conference center, and destination restaurant. The project transformed the central portion of the National Historic Landmark Richardson Olmsted Campus into the Hotel Henry, a boutique hotel that celebrates the history and architecture of the monumental structure, designed by Henry Hobson Richardson. The project brings new life to a long-abandoned architectural masterpiece, originally designed as the Buffalo Asylum for the Insane, adding to the revitalization of the city and reinforcing Buffalo as a center of great American design. A new glass and steel entrance acts as a beacon and establishes a new connection to the landscape and discrete parking area. At night, the new addition glows like a lantern, while the illuminated towers give the building a heightened presence from a distance. The new entry pavilion uses a light and highly transparent architectural language, that is clearly contemporary in contrast with Richardson's masonry building. Inside, the scale and grandeur of Richardson's design is respected, while discrete additions and subtractions transform the building for new uses. The lobby includes a food service marketplace and movable furniture for flexible configurations and a restored grand staircase. The 191,000 square foot project includes 88 hotel rooms, conference facilities, a fine dining restaurant, and a grab-and-go cafe. Small former patient rooms were combined to create modern guest rooms, and the wide, light-filled hallways were preserved. In the hallways, cabinet-like bump-outs were added to accommodate bathrooms for the guest quarters, while custom carpets with an abstract pattern and cool gray and green colors evoke the Olmstedian landscape. Alcoves in the guest rooms double as dressing areas with movable desks. Furniture throughout the guest rooms is spare and low, emphasizing the scale and character of the architecture. Above the headboards, custom acoustic panels are painted with images of Richardson's designs. Art by Buffalo-based artists add local character to the spaces. On the top floor, large loft-like suites with high-sloped ceilings are tucked under partially exposed beams, which reveal internal structure of the building. The project revitalizes one of Buffalo's great architectural wonders, which had been abandoned for decades, and returns to its public use. It anchors the redevelopment of the entire site, which is still ongoing, and signals and contributes to the renewal of Buffalo more broadly. Renovation Addition, Award of Merit. Middletown High School Innovation Labs, Middletown, New York. Submitting firm, KG&D Architects. Construction Manager, Triton Construction. MEP Engineer, Gerard Associates. Structural Engineer, St. Germain and Opperly Consulting Engineers. Lighting Consultant, Gold Stick Lighting Design. The enlarged City School District of Middletown is classified as high needs and high poverty. An overarching project goal was to build out the feeling of poverty and create a larger vision of a high school that didn't feel economically restrained. The project developed a 10,000 square foot technology-infused learning commons at the high school's center, as well as a 28,000 square foot addition with an innovation space, new entry sequence, and connection to a new classroom wing. The first edition includes a learning commons that features a range of next-generation learning spaces. The space includes a large innovation lab with a 16-panel viewing screen. Students' work can be projected from the individual stations onto the larger platform for discussion and collaboration. A glass wall between the learning suite and the corridor creates a gallery space for displaying student work. A second edition created a third-floor innovation space with breakout meeting and small group spaces, a main entry sequence, and connection to a new classroom wing. The Innovation Lab also utilizes glass walls and window walls to create a striking, open, light-filled space. Adjacent breakout spaces feature graffiti walls, desk and technology space, and movable furniture to facilitate small group collaboration. The new main entry sequence, positioned directly below the third-floor innovation space, provides a distinct sense of arrival and identity while creating a single secure point of access. The social value of these dynamic new spaces created learning environments that reflect the district's investment in each Middletown student's inherent potential. The renewed and expanded high school provides a range of advanced and practical education spaces that will allow Middletown students to obtain a competitive edge in the increasingly competitive global marketplace. Renovation Addition, Award of Merit. Milne Library Interior Renovation, SUNY Oneonta. Oneonta, New York. Submitting firm, Architecture Plus. MEP Engineer, Jadestone Engineering. Structural Engineer, Ryan Biggs and Clark Davis Engineering and Surveying. General Contractor, Andrew R. Mancini Associates. Library Consultant, Aaron Cohen Associates. Hazardous Materials Abatement Design, Watts Architecture and Engineering. Cost Consultant, Stuart Lynn Company. As student demographics and pedagogical approaches change on library campuses, students' learning, research, and study support needs have evolved. Campus libraries need not only to reconsider how services are delivered, but also the kinds of services and spaces they offer in order to provide the users with the best experience. A realignment of the reference collection on the first floor allowed for a learning commons to be developed, creating a new student-focused collaborative working destination on campus. The vibrant commons incorporates breakout study booths, group study rooms, classrooms, and a mix of both collaborative and individual seating options that enhance social interaction and cross-disciplinary learning outside of the classroom. Accessibility Resources was introduced as an accessible destination at the south end of the first floor, boasting a new state-of-the-art testing center, providing accommodations to address student needs. Cross-purposing space allows the center to be available to all students for off-hour studying and computer access. The circulation desk maintains its direct relationship with the main entrance to the building as a primary touchpoint for service, establishing a visual connection to the Learning Commons and reference desk. A new user experience touchpoint greets the patrons upon their arrival on the second floor. This destination was created to provide research support proximate to the collection located on the upper floors. The Academic Success Center seamlessly integrates at the south end of the second floor, providing professional and peer tutoring services. The print collection is maintained primarily at the north end of the second and third floors. Table and soft seating areas are developed along the perimeter of the collection to take advantage of the natural light and views, thereby creating desirable reflective study destinations. The reimagined campus library addresses the evolving needs of students for promoting learning, research, and study through the integration of student services and layers of different work zones, based on public and private space with a central social hub. Overall, the transformation of Milne Library has contributed a positive user experience for the campus community since its completion. Renovation Addition, Award of Merit. Bronx River Arts Center, Bronx, New York. Submitting firm, Sage & Coombe Architects. MEP Engineer, IP Group. Structural Engineer, Thornton Tomasetti Weidlinger Associates. General Contractor, S&N Builders. Civil Engineer, Langen. Originally a multi-family residential structure, the 100-year-old warehouse building that sits adjacent to the Bronx River was converted into the Bronx River Arts Center in 1987. Since then, BRAC has provided classroom and studio space for adults and children, bringing professional arts programming to a culturally underserved population. Despite the lack of visibility of its decayed headquarters, the center has served a vital social function within the West Farms community. A challenge of this tightly budgeted project was to identify the most cost-effective means to make the identity of BRAC visible on the exterior of the building, while still providing all necessary interior renovations to meet the other goals of the project. To take advantage of the project's visibility from East Tremont Avenue and the Greenway, as well as from the elevated subway that circumnavigates the site, the building was wrapped with a super graphic that announces the center and its mission. The design includes flexible and daylighted classroom studios, a media lab, a pottery studio, and several multi-purpose classrooms. Offices for the staff were placed in counterpoint to the open classrooms for supervision and to create a sense of community, while rental studios and tenant offices provide the institution with income. On the ground floor, a public event space opens onto the garden and the Bronx River. The public gallery provides the center with a strong visible presence and link to the community it serves. In addition, the building was brought into compliance with current standards for life safety, egress, and accessibility. In addition to its social function, the building uses green strategies to reduce energy consumption, including a planted roof and low-E coating and perforated vinyl treatment on the windows. The bold facade graphics give the building an immediate street identity and broadcast the institution's presence across a wider context, simultaneously relating to the individual passerby and engaging in a larger urban dialogue continues to be a guiding goal, whose ultimate aim is to enhance the contribution of the center to the cultural life of its community. Renovation Addition, Award of Merit. Tilly Foster Farm Educational Institute, Building Number 8, Brewster, New York. Submitting firm, Putnam County Department of Highway and Facilities. Architect, Putnam County Highway and Facilities. Project Manager, Putnam County Highway and Facilities. Engineer, Putnam County Highway and Facilities. Contributing Engineer, Greenman Peterson. Contributing Design Member, Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES. Interior Consultant, LBR Design Collaborative. Contributing Putnam County Departments. County Executive Office, Law Department, Consumer Affairs and Code Enforcement, Purchasing Department, Planning, Development, and Public Transportation, Health Department, Information Technology GIS, Parks and Recreation. The Tilly Foster Farm Educational Institute, also known as Building Number 8, was a renovation project on a 199-acre farm for the county's first public institute for career education. Building Number 8 is used as an educational center for culinary arts training and bioscience education for Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES, an event space and restaurant. The BOCES Culinary Arts Program is the first program of the Educational Institute and provides diverse educational experiences for high school students and special needs students. Besides the BOCES Culinary Arts Program, additional programs will include environmental and veterinary science through the Cornell Cooperative Extension. A county-owned restaurant called Tilly's Table provides farm-to-table dining featuring local farmer produce. Putnam County's Tilly Foster Farm Educational Institute not only provides diverse educational experiences, but self-sustaining opportunities for local tourism and community gatherings. The existing building required major infrastructure updates, and new additions were created for updated bathrooms and kitchen requirements. The building is divided into 2 levels with the restaurant on the main level and a basement assembly space that incorporates modern elements like LED lighting with nostalgic exposed existing wood structural elements. In the joining of farm field with craftsman details, the building adds wood millwork details, earth tones, and older style details like exterior metal lighting. The exterior extends the nod to the past with the use of party board lap siding and a covered front porch for a typical farm appearance. The county used Building Number 8 as a flagship project by using an in-house team, promoting its own workforce from design to construction, which not only saved money, but started a new concept in design and architecture for future construction and planning for county municipalities. Renovation Addition, Honor Award, Rockefeller Arts Center at SUNY Fredonia, Fredonia, New York. Submitting firm, Deborah Burke Partners. Construction Manager, Campus Construction Management Group. MEP Engineer, Lacani and Jordan Engineers. Structural Engineer, Robert Silman Associates. General Contractor, Northland Associates. Landscape Architect, Matthews Nielsen Landscape Architects. Civil Engineer, Larson Engineers. The Rockefeller Arts Center is the leading performing arts venue in the Western New York region. The team was hired to design a significant addition to and a dramatic reconceiving of a 1968 AIA Arts Complex on the State University of New York's Fredonia campus. A linear addition at the west facade was created, allowing the former back and service side of the building to become the new primary entrance, providing a stronger connection to both the campus and the larger community. The design respects the austerity of the Pritzker Prize-winning predecessor's building, while implementing a strategy of subtle contrast to update it to meet contemporary needs. The existing material language of long concrete walls was inverted by employing a palette of zinc metal and glass walls, with accents of concrete details. Metal fins provide sun shading, texture, and depth to the facades. Recognizing the history of cast-in-place concrete construction on campus, local contractors were enlisted to develop distinctive board forms with diagonal striations, differentiating the pattern from AIA's. The 60,000 square foot addition includes classrooms, sculpture and ceramic studios, performance spaces for music and dance, and a variety of shops and other shared facilities, including areas for set design and construction. Corridors are lined with tackboard surfaces, so they double as critique spaces and informal galleries. Ceramic studios and workshops are unadorned and designed for the heavy use of art making. The building acts as a beacon for the arts on campus. The large dance studio has a monumental window wall, making the activities of the building visible to the community. A new glass connector links the building to the existing music building, allowing temperature-controlled movement of instruments from building to building, which is important in Fredonia's cold climate. In addition to providing vastly improved and expanded facilities for making and appreciating art, the project elevates the role of the arts on campus. New construction, Award of Merit. The Lego Modular Supportive Housing. Bronx, New York. Submitting firm, James McCullough Architecture. Construction Manager, CNS Construction and Consulting Group. MEP Engineer, Joslow and Associates. Structural Engineer, DeNardis Engineering. General Contractor, Strategic Construction Group. Landscape Architect, Star White House. Nicknamed the Lego Building by neighbors while watching a crane lifting modules of reflective metal panels accented by alternating red and blue metal window surrounds over a former used car lot. This 8-story supportive housing project provides a home for 62 residents and brings new life for an older neighborhood in the South Bronx. Approximately 2/3 of its residents are referred by psychiatrists, and many are formerly homeless from city shelters and returning veterans in need of housing. For many, this is their first home. Viewing the project's colorful exterior introduces the visitor to the facility's urban, sophisticated, yet lighthearted mood in an older manufacturing district recently rezoned for mixed-use residential. While honoring the neighborhood's existing aesthetic, the project makes a statement that low-income residents value beauty, deserve respect, and are worthy neighbors in this culturally diverse area. Walking into the building reveals a stylistic unity with the exterior, a goal prioritized early on in the design phase. In order to maximize the number of units within allowable zoning, the depressed site is partially excavated to create a lower-level cellar space exempt from zoning floor area. The U-shaped floor plan adapts to the narrow but deep site with typical floor lobbies that overlook a south-facing courtyard. The lower level contains social services and resident common indoor and outdoor spaces. A security office overlooks the entrance and provides a 24/7 presence for residents. Large windows in studio units and elsewhere enhance the sense of space and natural light. A roof terrace overlooks the street, and the building is fully accessible with 5% of units designed for mobility impaired and 2% for sensory impaired. The design has encouraged respect. Social services have helped individuals readjust to society, and the social and educational programs have provided new opportunities for residents. The project's LEED Gold certification also demonstrates its respect for residents as well as Earth resources, reflecting decisions that will reap payoffs in the future. New construction, Award of Merit. Grafton Lakes Welcome Center. Cropseyville, New York. Submitting firm, Saratoga Associates. Construction manager, Arcadis. MEP engineer, McFarland Johnson. Structural engineer, McFarland Johnson. General contractor, Bishop Beaudry Construction. The Welcome Center at Grafton Lake State Park is a nature center nestled between three lakes on nearly 2,500 forested acres of park between the Hudson and Taconic valleys in the capital region of New York. The Welcome Center was envisioned and crafted as a gathering space for the community by providing educational services, exhibition and assembly spaces, park information and offices, as well as public restrooms. The enthusiasm that the staff shared and their passion to educate patrons about the environment inspired the design team to develop a facility that creates visual and physical connections to the unique surrounding ecosystems. Not only does the facility house educational exhibits, the building itself provides a means by which patrons can learn about green building technologies. A variety of sustainable approaches in both its design and operation are utilized. Large overhangs shield the south from direct heat of the summer sun, while allowing passive solar gain in the winter to provide a comfortable interior environment year-round. Low operable windows on the south facade permit natural ventilation through the exhibit space and exhaust out the automated clear-story windows to the north. The center also employs a variety of other important sustainable mechanical systems, including geothermal-sourced radiant heating, solar panels to generate electricity, and rain gardens for stormwater management. These systems are all explained in various displays, educating visiting students about these and other sustainable infrastructure systems. The surrounding project site continues its educational theme, as interpretive and informative exhibits complement an environmentally sensitive boardwalk. This boardwalk allows visitors to experience the wetland and vernal pools just steps from the facility's back door. Information about the native plants and animals inhabiting these wetlands is displayed while allowing patrons to enjoy the beauty of this natural environment that would otherwise be off limits. Public Art, Award of Merit. Re-envisioning the Elevated. 4 stations on the Astoria line. Astoria, New York. Submitting firm, D. Domenico and Partners. Design build contractor, Skanska. Engineering and architecture, AECom. Industrial design, Billings Jackson Design. Electrical engineering, GG Engineering. Electrical subcontractor, EJ Electric Installation. Mechanical plumbing, engineering, CSA Group. Lighting design, Domingo Gonzalez Associates. Structural engineer, Garg Consulting Services. Steel fabrication, Cody Builders. Metal fabrication, Miller Metal Fabrication. Architecture and engineering reference documents, Grimshaw Architects, ARUP. Artists, Stephen Westfall, Maureen McQuillan, Sarah Morris, and Diane Carr. The New York City subway system moves more than 6 million people a day through 472 stations. 4 stations on the Astoria line serve more than 10.1 million people a year. Once the crossroads of neighborhood activity and commercial hubs, elevated stations included open, well-lit mezzanines and a panorama of the community. In the 1980s, stations became walled off from the communities below, their mezzanines replaced with opaque walls. These 4 stations are the first on elevated lines to introduce innovative design and technology with new customer amenities. The project is the collaboration of a design-build team working alongside the client, their consultant team, and user groups. Significant repairs to the steel structure and platform concrete were made to achieve a state of good repair. The intent is to evaluate the results of these pilot stations and move forward with this approach for future station design. The customer mezzanines are open with clear glass and wire mesh fair lines that expand the feeling of openness. Small waiting areas with technology integration shelter customers waiting for trains. Gone are the decades of clutter, such as conduits and cables left behind during incremental changes. Rigorous attention to visual quality has organized utilities out of sight or routed in a designed wireway. The reconfiguration of spaces, introduction of new materials, and integrated technology have established a standard for moving forward. The new Astoria stations renew the connectivity between the community and transit. These stations, more than 100 years old, now have the technology to provide customers with real-time travel information and a station environment that is appropriate for a world-class transit system. Distinguished Service Award. The Associated General Contractors of New York State Distinguished Service Award recognizes individuals who have provided extraordinary service, commitment, and integrity to the construction industry. This year's award is presented to David Rubin. Daniel Patrick Moynihan Award. The Daniel Patrick Moynihan Award recognizes public officials or individuals who, through their efforts, have furthered the public's awareness and appreciation of design excellence in public architecture. This award recognizes members of the public who have made contributions to architecture. This year's award is presented to the Honorable Deborah Glick, New York State Member of the Assembly. Henry Hobson Richardson Award. The Henry Hobson Richardson Award recognizes AIA members licensed in New York State and practicing in the private sector who have made a significant contribution to the quality of New York State public architecture and who have established a portfolio of accomplishments to that end. One of the founding fathers of American architecture, Henry Hobson Richardson, designed many significant public buildings in New York State and the United States. This year's award is shared by Terrence O'Neill and Pamela Jerome. Nelson Aldridge Rockefeller Award. The Nelson Aldridge Rockefeller Award recognizes licensed architects employed in the public sector in New York State, whose work on projects within their jurisdiction has furthered the cause of design excellence in public architecture. Nelson Rockefeller devoted a significant portion of his life to public service, most notably serving as the 49th governor of the state of New York. This year's award is presented to Sandra Dagler. We extend our sincere appreciation to our sponsors, without whom this event would not be possible. The New York State Energy Research and Development Authority offers innovative programs, technical expertise, and support to help raise awareness and promote the advancement of New York's building stock to carbon neutral.